Welcome to the Mendon Alum Podcast. I'm your host, Kyle Singer. Today we have joining us special guest, Matthew Nelson Malone. Matthew, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, I'm really excited to be here. It's my first podcast ever, and I'm just excited for another good week of fantasy football.
Yep, absolutely. It's gonna be quite the week. I'm glad you're on. Obviously, we're playing each other, but we will get into next week's matchup in a little bit, and I know I'll hear probably some shit from you. But let's go over last week's matchup. We'll start with mine and Max. We had Max on the pod last week. He was, it was so annoying because he thought he was going to lose. Like he didn't even take himself to beat me, which was, he was doomed from the beginning. I basically doubled his score with a very mediocre week, but it's easy to do when your opponent puts up 75.1 fantasy points. Just like abysmal. Go ahead.
You didn't even play a kicker.
That's true.
You still almost doubled his score.
That's true. I didn't play a kicker. I wasn't going to play a kicker unless it were close, and then I was going to have to drop Tucker, and I was going to pick up Zane Gonzalez because he was done by that point. But I was like, all right. I was winning going into the night game before I had Russ play. And obviously the Monday night game where Cup played. So, 75 points is terrible. Like you would have thought I were playing Jay with that score, but his top scorer, Tyreek Hill, 17.5 points, got a lucky touchdown at the end of the game, followed by Jared Cook, 12.2, and Mahomes, who also got that lucky touchdown, 12 fantasy points. My top performer is Russell Wilson, 29.92, Alvin Kamara, 22.8, and Jamal Williams with 21.4. What do you think about mine and Max's matchup, Malone?
Well, if your best player scores 17.5 points, you're definitely going to lose about every single week. DJ Chark was useless.
Yep.
A.J. Dillon, why he started A.J. Dillon, I have no idea.
Ask Rock when he comes on later. He's like, dude, it'll counteract Jamal Williams. And I told him, I was like, dude, if you want to beat me, start Deontay Johnson. And he didn't do that.
That still wouldn't have made a difference.
Yeah, but 29 points versus 1.1 or 1.2, right?
J.D. McKissick too. You could have found anyone on the waiver wire. Like anyone would have outscored 7.1 and 1.1.
Yeah,
DJ Chark, you're going to start DJ Chark, that's whatever. But J.D. McKissick and A.J. Dillon they wouldn't start ever.
Yeah,
they're horrible fantasy management.
Yeah, to be fair, Gaskin was on bye, wouldn't have mattered. Deontay, 29 on his bench, and he starts. 1.1 for AJ Dillon.
I don't know why Tony Pollard's still rostered, but
yeah, he's just a cuff at this point. But
not even. It doesn't matter in the Cowboys' offense.
Yeah, it's a shit show. I'm sad about Zeke.
That's why I'm a Titans fan now.
That's true. Derrick Henry. But anyway, so I advanced to 4-3, and Max falls to 3-4. Likely out of playoff contention, but technically, the records are all close, so he does have a chance.
I believe that is 4 straight losses for Max too.
Yep, you're right. He is 0-4 in the past 4. So started off high. I was in first, and as we projected, he has fallen very quickly. So yeah, let's move on to the next matchup, and that is Rock beats Nelly 133.52 to 110.32. Rock's top performers. James Robinson, 31.7, who's no longer on his team. AJ Brown, 27.3, and Terry McLaurin, 22, who is also no longer on his team. Tops Nelly's top performer of Chase Edmonds, 21.5, Christian Kirk, 20.7, and Calvin Ridley, 19.9 points. Both are now 4-3. What do you have to say about that matchup, Ma?
CeeDee Lamb for Rock got 0.1 points. Cam Newton gave Nick negative 0.18 points. I don't even know what to say. Nick had to start Devonta Freeman, probably. And actually, he didn't. Got 0.8. Probably doesn't need to be.
He was projected 13.1 points going in. So
Juju, Ayuk, they're all probably better matchups than that or guys to start. But Rock, he won. He had his whole entire team besides Emmanuel Sanders and Leonard Fournette on bye. So he started he pretty much started the right guys besides, you can't really project CeeDee Lamb to have 0.1 points, but he started pretty much all the right guys.
Yeah. I think it's tough though, because Nick was texting me before the matchup like, who do I start at quarterback? I think this was the Thursday night before Thursday night,
Yeah.
which was before when Wentz played, and I was like, dude, like they both suck. I don't know if I actually gave him an answer, but no matter what, I feel bad because he would have won if he did start Carson Wentz over Cam Newton. And that would have been a big win for Nelly. He would have went to 5-2, and Rock would have fallen to 3-4.
Would
So
have been big for me too.
yeah, it would have been big for a lot of people, but it's a close game, and like Rock pulls off another win, and we'll see. But yeah, so anything else about their matchup?
No, I don't think I have anything to say about it.
Yeah, I'd say like just the other thing, we'll get to the trades later, but this whole Rock and Hoove dynamic of just trading everyone to beat each other this week is very funny. I'm excited to see it.
Like they only trade with each other like that. It's so frustrating. Whenever I see
Well, yeah.
Baxter and CD, and I don't even know whose team's name is. What are they?
Yeah.
Beats by Ray. Every time I just see it's a trade between those two teams, I'm like, what are they cooking up over there? It's collusion.
Yeah, they're bad. They're almost as bad as the Twins.
Oh god. At
they're
least those trades
bad.
are like fair with each other. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think so. I think like over the other than this year, it's always been Jay just murders Dill, and then this year it's been Dill murders Jay.
well, and Jay just punting in general, but we'll probably get to that later.
Yeah, and we will for sure. But let's move on. While we're talking about Jay, he falls to 1-6, puts up his best performance of the year, 139.7, loses to Mikey, 152.2 for Mike. Mike improves to 4-3. Jay falls to 1-6. For Mike, he had 24.3 out of Hop, 22.5 from Keenan, and 17.3 out of Tannehill. While Jay posted like solid numbers, honestly, for Jay. He had 25.3 out of DJ Moore, 2 touchdowns there. Big game from Gibson, 18.8, and 18.4 for Stafford. Was not enough to beat Mike. What do you have to say about that matchup?
It was a good matchup. I mean, Jay, he made a lot of good decisions who he started. It just the one bad one was the Cowboys defense. I mean, they're being a former Cowboys fan now. The Cowboys defense just absolutely horrendous. Like they should never be rostered or started ever. I don't understand that. He still wouldn't have won, but
Yeah,
he
they
wasn't.
did get him positive points though.
Yeah, for like the first time all year. But
Yeah,
I just saw they haven't beat the spread in all 8 weeks this year. We have 8 games.
7. This is
Seven.
week 8.
Yeah, yep. They're probably not going to beat it this week for the 8th straight week since the 2003 Raiders have done that.
That's pathetic.
Like AJ Green would have helped him over Mike Evans, but AJ Green's been terrible, and Mike Evans is Mike Evans. Like you're not gonna probably make that start. So
Yeah.
On Mikey, his team's just good. Like there's not much else to say. His team's good. DK Metcalf had a bad week because Tyler Lockett broke Jerry Rice's record for most fantasy points in a week.
Yeah,
it was like a 90. I mean, like DK Metcalf's gonna be good every week. He just had a down one.
Yeah, he also had that like 50-yard touchdown in overtime taken back from the David Moore holding call.
So I mean,
So that
Mikey
would salvage his day.
would have popped off even more, but that was the only guy that wasn't in double digits. So made a lot of good starts.
Yeah, but the $125 that Jay spent on Boston Scott somewhat paid off. Over 20 fantasy points, but
I mean,
probably not worth
I know you can look up, but like, who was the next highest bidder on Boston Scott, or do you not know off the top?
Yeah, I was. I was the only person that bid, and I bid 27. I think $27 on him.
So he could have saved $97 or whatever it is, or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't do the math, but he could have saved almost $100.
Yeah, Max and I talked about this last week on the pod, and I was like, all right, so as of last week, I had the most fab. Max had the second most. So I had like 155. He had like 153. And Jay had 125. So I was like, all right, if you look at everyone else's team, it doesn't matter. Max like didn't need a running back. And I pit on him, but not that much. So it's like, do you think that the two of us were going to spend $125 on him?
No.
Exactly.
If either of you were going to, it was going to be Max because you're not that desperate for running backs. Well,
yeah,
like maybe Zeke is a little iffy right now, but I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit later. But I just $125 for anyone, honestly, off the waiver wire is it's tough pill to swallow.
Yeah, for sure. But another loss for Jay, 1-6. It's just like, well, we will get into the trade he made with Hoover, which potentially could save his outlook on being Sacko. But it's looking glim for him. He needs to win. Wow, that all rhymed. That was kind of sick.
He needs to start winning a lot.
He needs to start winning because, as I went over in last week's pod, the Sacko punishment or the Sacko rules are play it's record based. So instead of the playoffs work with 2-week playoffs, well, the Sacko is going to be 3 regular weeks, and then it's the 2-week Sacko Bowl. Also, I do want to bring this up to you, Ma, because I know Jay, Rock, and myself were kind of talking about it, and we'll bring it up in the league. But I had a cool idea of having the regular season ends when it ends, which is week 16 for us, but nothing happens in week 17. I had the idea of kind of extending the Sacko Bowl on to week 17. We take week 15 off and let it be another record game because 13, 14 are normally record, but now it would be 13, 14, 15 are all like a regular game for the people that are not in the playoffs. And then the Sacko Bowl would be the 2 worst records after week 15 for week 16 and a shitty week 17 Sacko Bowl. So we all kind of watch week 17.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it matters that much. The only problem with the week 17 thing is that, I mean, when you look at Jay's team right now, like maybe besides Mike Evans, Deebo Samuel, like everyone else will probably be playing. If you get a team within playoffs, you could, I mean, it's fair because you both are going to have issues with that, but with guys who are potentially not playing because they're already in the playoffs, but I don't know, it's a Sacko Bowl. Who cares?
Yeah,
make it even worse than it already is.
Yeah, it'll just be like funny just because obviously like it doesn't matter in terms of like it doesn't really matter because the playoffs are separate. Playoffs will obviously remain the same, but for the losers, like just thinking about like that week 17, people scrambling on the waiver wire, and you kind of see who can make a good move when it could matter. And Jay has 0 fab.
He obviously can still get guys off the waiver wire, but he's not gonna be able to get the guys he wants because he's gonna have to wait.
You're right, but you know what? He did tell me he wanted to do it, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, another shitty week. Let's move on to the next matchup. Oh, before I do say that, Mikey is definitely in playoff contention, so every team that we've talked about other than Jay are probably in playoff contention. Max is just hanging on barely. Let's talk about the next guy who is probably kicked out. I don't think mathematically, technically, but probably kicked out, and that's Perna. He falls to Hoover after a ridiculous Tyler Lockett performance, 155.38 to 140.28. Obviously Hoover's top performer, 53 from Tyler Lockett, but like you heard him complaining earlier in the day about Devontae Adams, who was Perna's top performer with 44.6, and of course he gets 53. But I mean, the other guys are kind of irrelevant. You can talk about them if you want, but those 2 top performers were definitely noteworthy. What do you think about this matchup?
It was a good matchup. I mean, Hoover got absolutely screwed by Jerick McKinnon and Kyle Shanahan. I mean, negative 0.1 points out of their starting running back, who I don't believe got hurt, if I'm not mistaken. Or did he?
Sorry, who? McKinnon?
Did he get hurt?
He didn't get hurt in the game. Supposedly, like Shanahan was like he was already hurt, and they gave him 2 carries for negative 2 yards. But crazy.
That's tough for Hoover. I mean, because I believe he was healthy. It said he was healthy anyway, so that's tough pill to swallow. But I mean, he still won. Perna's team, I mean, Chase Claypool getting him and Keelan Cole are just bad. I mean, he probably wasn't gonna. He could have started Herbert over Aaron Rodgers, but it's whatever. They're both good. I mean, Perna was bench is kind of decimated, so I mean, he started all the guys he should have realistically. So I don't think. Just a tough week for him that Lockett dropped the performance of a lifetime in fantasy in general the last 30 years. So
yeah,
what are you gonna do about it? You can't really be too mad.
Yeah, I mean, just like it just sucks because had Perna won, he goes to 3-4, and Hoover would be 3-4, and it would
have
be
really helped me, especially with how my game ended up playing out. But
yeah, definitely like a lot of big endings last week, especially in this game. But yeah, I mean, feel bad for Perna, but like whatever. He won it last year, so he can take the year off. And he did make that trade that we'll get into where he now has some good keeper value moving forward.
He does have the most points against, I do believe.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and I think it's by quite a bit. So
Yeah.
his team on paper is good. He's just had some weeks where teams have just popped off on him pretty much every week.
Yep, he's unlucky for sure. But who cares? He moves to 2-5.
He's irrelevant anyway.
Yeah, I mean, like he was lucky to win last year, but 2-5 for him, 4-3 for Hoove. Now you know what it's time for. And that's your matchup. What a shit show that was. I will let you take over completely and just tell everyone what happened.
So I believe going into the game, I was down 5 points, something like that. Or I was down like 5.9 or something. And I had Robert Woods playing. He got up to 7.5. And then on the end around, he lost 4 yards and fumbled. So then I was only up 2. I was up like a little bit less than 2 points. He got the fumble, and then I lost by half a point.
Yeah, and Dill had no one left.
And
so
Dill had no one playing. So
you basically needed what? You needed 6 points.
Yeah, and I got 5.5.
Yeah.
And he had 7.5 at one point, or 7.4 or something, whatever it was.
Yeah, you had beat him.
I had beat him. I had already started talking smack that I had the best that had the best record and would have taken over first place, and now I'm sitting in 6th place for the playoffs.
That's tough.
Which isn't making the playoffs. So Robert Woods and Sean McVay really screwed me there.
Yeah, that was a shit show. I remember we were texting earlier that night, because obviously I was rooting for you. Love watching Dill lose.
Yeah.
And you were like, we're fast forwarding to mid game, but you're like, it was halftime, and you're like getting a little nervous. And I said, you'll get it. You got an entire half. You're so close. And then like I went upstairs, I come back down, and he had that end around for positive yards where he had
5 yards on it.
Exactly. So, and then you text me like, let's go. And I love it. I'm excited. And then I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, shit, like you're not really up that much. If he runs the ball, I was literally thinking, I told Rock, like he runs the ball and he could fumble and you could lose still. You need more points.
That's all I was thinking about was he's going to fumble, and he fumbled all right.
Yep.
I mean, like when you look at my bench, like, I mean, I wasn't going to bench Robert Woods, like Josh Kelly, Latavius Murray, like Latavius Murray would have won me it. So would have Josh Kelly. Like, but I wasn't going to start them. Like I made all the right starts, and I just got absolutely screwed by the horrible play call by Sean McVay, trying to run out the clock with an end around. It's terrible.
Yeah, that was tough.
And Dill had Odell get him 0 points, but I mean the 49ers defense got 16. That's just Tyler Boyd popped off against me. David Johnson had his best game of the year. I think his second best game of the year.
That's hilarious.
Fuller had like 3 catches and a touchdown. Like
garbage time touchdown.
Yeah.
And Kyler Murray.
Gronk's been going crazy. Kyler Murray just decimated the Seahawks defense. Like, what are you gonna do? I mean, you know, you can be mad, but it's just fantasy is just so unlucky sometimes.
Yeah, that's crazy. That'll go down in our history for sure as one of the worst beats. It's almost, I think Mikey last season I think it was last season he beat Jay by 0.2. So that was a little bit closer, but this was probably more dramatic with like you were winning and then the fumble.
I can't believe that's just a terrible play call. I mean, the guy was literally hit him as soon as he got the ball. There's no way he was ever going to hang out of that.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Or recovered it, or someone on the Rams had recovered it. But here we are. Went from being 5-2 in first place to 4-3 in 6th place.
Yeah, like the points. I mean, the points for weren't helping you. Your record was what was doing it for you.
My team has been playing well though. Been scoring more than they have, but
also hope to get Eckler back.
Yeah,
soon. We'll see.
DeAndre Swift's been playing well though. He's been beating his projection the last 2 weeks. Last week 2 weeks ago he was very good. So, I mean, hopefully he can stay, getting at least in double digits, while Eckler is apparently may or may not return. So,
yeah, Absolutely. It looks like we're going to have a guest join us real quick. That's going to wrap up our last week, week 7 overview, and we're going to move in. We're going to talk a little bit about trades, and who better to talk about trades than Rock himself. Let's see. He's going to be a little surprised. He's being thrown into this one. We'll see. Connecting. I think he's doing flooring for Neely Myers' house right now. Something like that.
The death van.
Yeah. I don't know what's good with him. So here we go. We see him. Rock, you got to unmute yourself there, guy. He has put us on the floor. This is what we've been waiting for.
Hello.
There it is. Welcome, Rock.
How you doing?
What's up, Rock? How are you, man?
Doing well.
Good. What's up? How's the interview going? Are we all doing okay today?
Can't complain. Rock.
Nice.
Let's cut straight to the chase. I would like you to tell us about some of the trades that you've made and kind of go in depth on them.
Yeah, my trades were killer this week. So pretty much thinking things over this weekend. Like, my team right now has a couple guys on bye week, including Terry McLaurin, James Robinson. So I'm like, how do I make my team better and playoff worthy? So what I did was I took advantage of a couple people and their records. I mean, with Perna, he's kind of out of the playoff run. So I decided to trade with him. I got a big trade done with him. I had to look over the actual trades. I kind of forgot it right now.
What are you saying, Rock? We can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes. Speak into the mic, please.
Okay, sorry. It's very tough for me. I'm trying to take apart a bed right now. You have no idea. Could you refresh my brain about exactly what that trade entailed? Because I can't look at it right now.
Which trade, Rock?
The one with Perna.
You traded him James Robinson, Terry McLaurin. Did I just send that to? Sorry. Yeah, let me pull that up. Actually, Malone, can you pull that up for a sec?
Where is it on the ESPN site? I've been trying to figure it out.
You go to recent activity.
Oh. Okay.
That's the best way to do it.
Oh shit! What the hell just happened? Sorry, I'm trying to get Nick in here. Got that.
You guys got a hex screw? I don't have one.
Rock, what are you talking about?
I can't take apart this bed.
Okay. All right. Nick is going to join us right now.
I can't find your trade with Perna.
I'm pulling it up right now. But Rock, tell us something. What are your thoughts on Hoove's trades while I pull up your trade? Are you scared about this week?
So with Hoove's trades, I was worried once he traded with Jay because I think that's pretty crazy trade. I think Jay sold low on Mike Evans. He didn't get to see what that offense looked like with Antonio Brown because, I mean, I think Mike Evans could possibly do better with Antonio Brown.
And Chris Godwin's out this week.
And again,
It was painful to me, but
so I was worried about that. Thankfully, he traded away Mike Evans away. And then he got DJ Moore, who I think is a stud. And I think McCaffrey's not playing either, so that's more targets for him to feed off of. So I was definitely worried once he made those trades, but then I realized that he doesn't have good running backs. And when I realized that, I kind of laughed. I laughed with a couple people and laughed at Hoover because he's starting Todd Gurley, and he's also starting who was it? Carlos Hyde, because he doesn't have Chris Carson's anymore. And
Carson, Rock Carson. Yeah, Nick knows that, right, Nick?
Nick loves Chris Carson's.
Chris Carson's my guy.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, after he made the trade with Jay, I was a little bit worried, but at the same time, like he's starting Darrell Henderson and Todd Gurley, so I was totally like okay with matching up against that because now my running backs are Kareem Hunt and Aaron Jones or Jamal Williams, who had 20 points last week. So I was pretty pumped about that. And then he traded Nick Kelsey, which I was very confused about because I personally think that Kelsey has a better matchup against the Jets, even though the 49ers are playing the Seahawks, and he gave away Kittle.
There's a reason Kittle's projected for 5 more points than Kelsey.
I mean, I don't listen to projections too much. Like, I think that I would put them almost as I would swap that, to be honest, because I think Seattle's a smart team. I think they're going to be like, hey, let's let anybody else beat us but Kittle. The 49ers receivers aren't great. Debo's out. You got Kendrick Bourne. You have Trent
Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah, so my thought is that they'll probably put a safety over top. Then, I mean, I don't know. I just think that they're going to let anybody else besides Kittle beat them. Kittle had, 10 points last week, 12 points. I'd be more worried about Kelsey versus the Jets. The Jets don't have any good linebackers. Seahawks do.
All right, Rock. So we get your point, but let's let Nick talk about it because he's the one who actually made the trade. Nelly, what do you have to say about that trade you made with Hoof?
Well, I made 2 big trades yesterday. The trade with Hoof specifically just offered me more depth, more starters. I think Kelsey is a little bit of a downgrade over Kittle, but I was willing to take that as a stone tight end.
Big downgrade right there.
I think it's a small downgrade, definitely not big. It's like one and two. And then I was able to get Mike Evans, I think, at his floor right now. I mean, it'd be crazy to see him, produce the way he is the rest of the year. I think that he's going to have some big games, and I'm happy starting him as my flex too. So I think it just gave my team some depth. Beyond that, my other trade, I think it gave me a chance to win now and also win in the future in terms of I keep Jonathan Taylor. Not going to have Jones this week, so I think I'm in a good position to actually beat Dill this week. So we'll see. So
you traded with both Rock and Hoove, who are playing each other, and both are doing their best to beat each other this week. Which of the 2 trades did you like better for your team? And then which between Rock and Hoove, who do you think will win this week?
Well, I haven't looked at their matchup, so I don't really know. I saw whose lineup looks like right now. Rock is a great lineup right now. He made some really good moves. For me, I liked the original trade with Rock more just because it really helped me for next year. Definitely going to keep Jonathan Taylor. Probably going to keep Edmonds too. I'm not sure. I've got a couple other guys I'm kicking around keeping. In terms of just my team now, I definitely like the trade I made with Hoof. I think it gave me just some more solid starters.
Yeah, I would agree. Malone, which trade did you like the best? Who do you think of those 2 trades won biggest on which trade?
On Nick's trades, I think he won the most on his one with, I got to find it again, with Hoove. I think the first trade he made, I don't think Jonathan Taylor is I don't think either of them are nearly as valuable as Aaron Jones. I know he's on a bye, but I think that hurts in the long run bad for Nick. Mm-hmm. The other one, I mean, Mike Evans is an upgrade over Devontae Parker and Tim Patrick combined. Jerry Jeudy has been pretty okay. Maybe that's not even it. But, I mean, Kittle and Kelsey is a toss-up. I think Nick definitely won that trade over Hoove. I thought that was a terrible trade for Hoove, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I agree.
I mean, they're doing 1 week trades, like as in Rock and Hoove, just to try to beat each other. But real quick, just to go over this week, Nelly, we're pulling up your matchup this week, and that's against Dill. Starts tonight. You guys have a lot of skin in the game between the 2 of you guys with that Thursday night game, which is the Carolina Panthers and the Atlanta Falcons. I know you have, at least Calvin Ridley, right? You have anyone else?
No, that's it. Just Calvin Ridley.
So yeah, you've got Calvin Ridley tonight, and he has a plethora of Carolina guys, as that is his name, with Teddy Bridgewater, Mike Davis, Robbie Anderson. So like 3 guys. You guys have a total of 4 guys, and they're important players tonight. Right. What do you think about tonight, and where do you want to be after tonight to feel like you have a chance to beat him?
Well, he has great matchups against that Falcons defense. I don't know what happened to Mike Davis last week. I don't think he had a big week last week.
He's had single digits in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, I haven't really watched those games. I wonder if is it because of Curtis Samuel or whatever. But I think that I'd be happy being down 30 points this week. I think that if I'm down, if he scores 50 and I get 20 from Calvin, then I'll be happy. I think a 20-point game from Calvin, I'll be pretty happy and content with, and maybe 20 from Bridgewater or 25 from Bridgewater. Another 15 from. You never know with Anderson. He could easily put up 15, 20.
Yeah, for sure. I think if I were you, I'd be very comfortable being down. Is it 30? You said, right?
Yeah. Well,
I think in this game you're rooting for Mike Davis to have a big game, so hopefully Bridgewater and Anderson don't.
Right.
Yeah. So like just based off of like ESPN projections, I know Rock doesn't believe in them at all, but they're there for a reason. If every one of these 4 players hit their projection exactly on the dot, you'd be projected, you'd be down 36.9. So yeah, I think 30 is a good number for you to kind of reach for. I just traded for Calvin Ridley in one of my leagues, so I'll be rooting for him heavy with you tonight, Nick. And obviously I love watching Dill lose. So
right.
Big game out of Calvin Ridley tonight for sure.
Yeah. I hope he remains kind of the number over. Julio's been dealing with injuries, but obviously I think Julio's a better receiver, so we'll see how that plays out the rest of the year.
Yeah, we were having some issues with the Spectrum Wi-Fi.
Yeah,
it's garbage. But no, you got any parting words before we let you go?
Rex Burkhead's gonna be a top 10 running back this week. Just gonna gash the Bills. So looking forward to starting him as my RB1.
Yeah. All right. I mean, he's definitely not gonna do that, but we'll talk. I definitely want you to beat Dill. I got some running backs for you if you want to talk and not start Rex Burkhead, but best of luck. Jonathan Taylor is definitely startable.
Yeah, I'm not a huge Jonathan Taylor fan. That offense for the Colts just isn't great.
I had to mute Rock because this kid is like plastering at T. Myers' basement right now. Like it's just unreal. So we'll unmute him. But Nelly, thank you for joining us. I wish you the best of luck, and we'll talk soon.
Later, Nelly.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
Good luck this week.
Thank you. I'm gonna need it.
Me too.
No, you're not gonna need it. I'm definitely gonna need it.
Rock. I'm gonna have you unmute yourself, and we're gonna ask some parting words out of you. I got a couple questions before I let you go. Take about a minute. Just run us through your matchup with Hoover real quick, and what do you think will happen, and kind of talk about the playoff picture for the two of you going forward.
All right, one sec. I'll just pull up the game real quick. So New England's pass defense kind of tough to throw against, obviously. They have some good corners. I don't love the matchup for Josh Allen this week. I don't know how well he's going to play. I mean, the first couple of weeks he played like an MVP, and since then it's not been great. I think Herbert has the edge in that matchup. I love Hunt against Vegas, and then Aaron Jones versus Minnesota. So I think my running backs go off. Honestly, I mean, just looking at my matchups, I feel very confident going into this week, especially because it's Hoover. I think bad karma is coming Hoover's way. I feel very confident saying that. He's kind of a scumbag.
Kind of.
He moved from New Hampshire to Cleveland. Like, it's Cleveland, scumbag city. So that kind of karma is building up for him right now. And I mean, I'm trying harder. I'm researching more. I'm doing more things to make my team win now and in the future. So I think I'd probably beat him by around 60 points.
60.
I don't
All
think it's gonna be close. That's modest. I'm honestly being modest there.
That's fair. As of now, you are a 9.6 point underdog.
Yeah, I don't understand that. Landry's only projected 11.9. That should be way higher. Like what? Like
Richard.
I do agree. I think Landry will have a better game than that.
Yeah, and then I mean I like the matchup for Adam Thielen too. I mean, if you look over the years, whenever Jair Alexander has been covering Thielen, it's been money games. Like he's just been popping off, and it's gonna be no different. Green Bay hasn't improved their defense at all. If anything, they've gotten worse. Yeah, so pretty much, I think I'm gonna smoke Hoove. And I'm probably gonna rub it in his face pretty good because he tried to make all these little moves because he saw Big Brother Noah doing it, and he just wanted to be my little boy, my little Hoovy booby.
All right, big brother. So you think you'll make the playoffs then? Because I think probably the winner of this game will likely get the 4 seed in the playoffs, I'm thinking.
That's the hope. Probably going to make some more trades next week. So get ready, get your phones on, and be expecting some trade calls for next week as well, because I got some boys on by.
Great. Ma, you got anything to say to Rock?
Starting the Philadelphia Eagles defense against your Cowboys, not ours anymore, because I'm a Titans fan, as I said for the third time, is a tough look as a fan.
As a fan, it's a tough look, but I'm actually hedging my – am I hedging my losses? No, yeah, I'm totally hedging my losses because, like, we lose, get smoked. DiNucci throws a couple pick six for the boys.
DiNucci's money, dude. He's money.
He's becoming a meme. I love it. So I'm very happy about starting the Philly defense. I honestly think it's going to be another game just like the Redskins, but worse. I mean, they have a great defensive line. They have a good quarterback, and even though the receivers are bad, our cornerbacks are worse. So it's going to be an exciting game for me. I mean, either way, if Cowboys win, it's cool. They lose, my fantasy team goes to the playoffs. So I'm happy about it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure it's that ride or die on the Cowboys defense,
it's
but
one or the other. No.
I think both sides of the ball, they're pretty trash. So like literally everywhere they're trash, but
yeah, I'm excited.
But yeah, Rock, best of luck to you. We'll let you go back to painting Mrs. I don't even know.
No, I'm in. You should see. I'm in a hellhole right now.
Well, people will see it because we're moving over to YouTube, so people are gonna see this. So don't give anything away.
It's poverty.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you for having me on. I'm gonna get back to work, and if Hoover gets on at some point, make sure he hears what I say. Like, tell him before he says anything, so he can get a little.
He's not hopping on, but
I figured.
We'll see. The karma is going to be interesting. You just said a lot of mean things to him, but I look forward to the matchup.
Awesome, thank you.
Good luck.
See you guys.
See ya. All right, Ma. So now I think it's time for us to break down their matchups. Let's start off with Rock. Right now he is projected 144.5. And Hoover is projected 154.1. Just give me some of the guys that you think are going to pop off, and then we'll do some predictions for the score.
Well, before the pop off, he's got 4 guys who are currently questionable, and Kareem Hunt, Aaron Jones, Jamison Crowder, and Jarvis Landry. He does have Jamal Williams, so if some of these guys get hurt early, or if they re-aggravate injuries, he's going to be in for a long week.
Yeah, and Rock is who Malone's referring to right now.
Yes, Rock. I think Herbert. That's a good Denver defense. I don't know if he's going to have as good of a game as he's been having. Kareem Hunt, if he plays, will have an unbelievable game. Same with Aaron Jones. That Minnesota defense is terrible. Yeah, I think even if Jones plays, Williams does split more carries than usual. A.J. Brown against a terrible Bengals defense. Adam Thielen, the Vikings are going to be down bad. Yeah, I think he's got a good team this week that I think is going to beat a lot of projections if his guys play and don't get hurt.
Yeah, for sure. I think it'll be a close game. I'm going to give Hoover the edge, though. Like, he did a lot to get a win this week. I think I couldn't disagree more with Rock's take on the Kittle-Kelsey thing. I think Kittle is definitely going to have more fantasy points than Kelsey this week. Kelsey's got the Jets. I think the Jets are going to get absolutely rolled, and like they're not going to need to use Kelsey or Tyreek Hill, which obviously will help you. We'll talk about that soon. But Kittle is like the only guy on San Fran against Seattle who has been just a garbage defense. But yeah, so I'm going to give a quick prediction of the score, and then you'll hop on, and we'll move back over to Nick's game. I think Hoover is going to win this game. I think he'll win. It's going to be high scoring. These are good teams. I think it's going to be like 172 for Hoover to like 154 for Rock.
I think the 3 weaknesses that Hoover does have, though, is Josh Allen against the Patriots, and Gurley and Henderson don't have great matchups, and Henderson's been splitting a lot of carries. So
I think Gurley does have a good matchup. Carolina has been they're 32nd against the run right now.
No.
To be fair,
I'm not a huge Gurley supporter in fantasy. So
me too. I agree, but I think he has a good matchup tonight, and he needs some points out of him.
His top 4 receivers that he's playing in, both of his flexes are just dynamite, and they're gonna all have good games.
Yeah, he's got crazy wide receivers now, and Kittle this week is going to be the best tight end.
Those 5 guys are probably going to carry him to a victory.
Yeah. So what's your final score prediction?
Score? I'll say Hooves probably around 170, and I would say Rock right around like 150-ish. I think it's a 20-point gap.
Yeah. So we're pretty similar with our prediction. We both
Yeah.
think we think Hoove's going to advance to 5-3 and Rock will fall to 4-4. So we'll see. It's going to be a good matchup. But let's move on to the next one. Probably, another important matchup, and that's Nelly 4-3 takes on Dill 5-2. We talked about it with Nick for a sec, but what do you think about this matchup?
This matchup, I don't think it's going to be that close. I think Dill's going to win by a good bit. Nick's got a lot of question marks, and Burkhead and Jonathan Taylor's not been popping off. Juju's been off and on. Ridley and Kelsey will probably be his most consistent guys, and Dill's team's it's pretty good. I mean, besides Darius Slayton, his team's been pretty good all year, and I think he's going to win by 30 maybe.
Yeah, I mean, he was kind of hoping McCaffrey was going to play, but it's not. I mean, I think
but again, I've heard
tonight.
I mean, Mixon's also a question mark right now if he's going to play or not. If he plays, I think Dill wins by a good bit. If he doesn't, I mean, who is he going to have to start? Wayne Gallman against?
Yeah, Wayne Gallman. Exactly. He has no one.
He has no shot. I mean, Wayne Gallman's not going to do anything.
Yeah. Actually, last night I offered him a trade that I thought he was actually going to take, and this was also we thought McCaffrey might play too, to be fair. But I offered him Giovanni Bernard for Mike Davis, and he thought that was like the worst offer ever. I was like, all right, dude, like 1 week value versus a good handcuff for your clearly injury prone running back. I thought it was fair.
I do give you a lot of grief for giving bad trades, but for really bad trades, but Mike Davis, he's probably going to have a big week this week. Atlanta's defense is terrible, but going forwards, he's not going to get anything from Mike Davis.
Yeah. I mean,
Matt Rule has said that Curtis Samuel, Mike Davis, and McCaffrey will be splitting carries, touches, playing all over the field. Who knows if that'll happen, but McCaffrey is probably going to be limited in his value. So
yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm really hoping for the rest of the league's sake that it's more of a committee than we think. Or better yet, just like Mike Davis takes 10 total touches away a game, and it makes McCaffrey into a teen player as opposed to the high 20s, 30s games and even the 40 games.
I mean, McCaffrey's floor was 20 before, 22.
Yeah, he was crazy. I think he averaged almost 30 points last year.
Yeah.
That was crazy. I think so. I have talked to Nelly, he knows, and I kind of I'm shopping Gio to both of these guys because if Joe Mixon goes down, Dill plugs in Wayne Gallman, and then I'll have Gio who will be the starter, and I could give Nick Gio for someone instead of him starting Rex Burkhead. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm not taking Rex Burkhead.
But Rex Burkhead is pretty much useless with Damian Harris, and I don't know if Sony Michel's what his issue is if he's on IR. I don't know. He's so fantasy irrelevant, but
you just don't want anyone on that team. I think
you don't want any. Yeah.
I mean, and Edelman is probably going to be gone a couple of weeks. He just had surgery this morning. All of a sudden,
he's been absolutely useless. Until they get someone who can throw the ball, then they're not going to have any success on offense as fantasy players.
Yep. I will say I do think Dill is going to be off to a big lead tonight. I do think Ridley will have a good game for Nelly, but but this is going to be a high scoring game, and I think Teddy's going to beat his projection. I think he'll have over 20. Mike Davis, I think, will have, a 20 ball, and Robbie Anderson, I really like for also close to a 20 ball. So I'd be shocked if Dill has anything less than 60 points tonight from the three. And for Nelly, I think he'll have about a 20 ball from Ridley.
Yep.
My final score prediction for this game. This is gonna be tough. It's gonna be a close game. I think I'm gonna say I'll give Nelly the win. I'll take the slight underdog. He's got a scary team, but I think Joe Mixon will be out. So I'll give Nelly a 145 to 142 game, a very close game. How about you?
I'm gonna take Dill at 130 and Nelly at around 115, maybe 110.
Okay, I don't see low.
Besides Ridley or Kelsey doing a whole lot this week.
Yeah, low scoring game.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of both in agreement that this isn't going to be as big of a Kelsey game as Rock thinks.
Yeah, I mean, he's really got three guys who I believe in. It's Wentz is going to have a big day against Dallas.
Mhm.
Ridley should be dynamite tonight, and Kelsey will probably have 4 catches for 40 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I mean, he obviously can. It's the Jets. They suck.
Yeah.
My basis is like the Jets suck. They're not going to need him, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it's a big Le'Veon Bell game.
Yeah.
Huge Le'Veon game.
So that would put both of them at 5-3. Likely, it'd be a really good playoff matchup here, and definitely big playoff implications in this matchup. Let's move on to another one that has some playoff implications. That's Mikey takes on Max. So Max is fighting for his life here. I'd say if he loses, he's out. If he wins, he maybe has a chance. Mikey, pretty much the same. Mikey kind of needs to win. He definitely needs to win. But if he does win, he's looking pretty good for the playoffs as well. Current projections, sometimes Mikey doesn't set his lineup. So 139.2 to 135.5. I think Max actually has really good matchups. I like what he did. I like the trade he made with me for this week especially. But what do you think about this matchup?
I think Mikey wins this one bad.
Yeah.
I don't, Mahomes, he'll probably have a good day, right around 20. I don't think he's going to explode for anything because I think he won't be pulled, but I think they're going to lean on Le'Veon a lot, which hurts Mikey too because he's got Clyde. But Justin Jackson's been terrible, and JaMychal Hasty, who has any idea what he's going to do?
He could put up 0.
I mean, if Diggs is shadowed by Gilmore and Josh has been looking shaky, I don't know how great of a day he's going to have. The Rams defense is pretty good. I don't see there's any way that Max is going to win this week. I think Mikey's team is just solid. He's got games that are pretty much going to be probably pretty close for the most part. And I think that's going to keep a lot of his guys in the game.
Yeah, as every week for Mikey, really, I think it's going to come down to that Baltimore game. They play the Steelers, who has a great defense. So that could be, it's hard to say now. It could be good or bad. It could be a close game, but and like they all kind of pop off, or it could be a dud game. They are coming off a bye, which should help. I kind of believe in Max though this week. I think he's going to pull off an upset win. I think it'll be close. Mikey's team's great, don't get me wrong, but I do actually like Max. I like Mahomes to have a big game. I like Josh Jacobs to have a big game. Myles Gaskin's first game with Tua, so like a rookie quarterback. I expect dump offs. The Hasty thing is, that's a toss up. We'll see. Could go either way. Richard Rodgers is easily my least favorite play for Max. I think he needs a new tight end, but I'm going to give Max a win, like 145 to 138.
I think I'm going to have to take Mikey at like 130. Max, I don't think his team does anything. I bet he's 110, 115 again, kind of like the Nick Dill game.
Yeah. I'm hoping Max pops, kind of gets out of that 0-4 funk that he's been on the past 4 and moves on from that 75-point outing against me last week.
That was tough. That's hard to watch.
Yeah. So I think Mikey will fall to 4-4 and Max will improve to 4-4. And Malone thinks Mikey will improve to 5-3 and Max will fall 5 in a row to 3-5. Let's move on to likely the Sacko Bull matchup, and that is Miller time. Jason Piacelli takes on the Devontae duo, Chris Perna, 133.7 to 114.1 projection. I mean, we'll see. It's less clear now, but I think we kind of both know what's going to happen in this game. What do you think, Ma?
I think it's Jay scores under 100 points.
Yeah.
I mean, his team, like, there's not a single person he's starting that would be in my second flex.
I think Le'Veon Bell just is going to pop off this week against the Jets, but
I agree. But I'm just saying, like, if you look at my team, I wouldn't start a single one of those players in my second flex. His team's. I think Le'Veon will carry him this week. Fulgham might have a good game. He probably will against the Cowboys. They're horrific.
Boston Scott too, then, right?
Yeah, I could see those two, but I don't think that those 3 guys are they're not like a Derrick Henry's going to go off for 45 points. They might combine for like 40 or 50, but his team's just bad.
Yeah. I think as soon as you look at his lineup, you know he's going to lose. He's starting Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. I mean, Baker played really well last week. I'll give it to him.
Yeah, but you can't expect that. He's Baker. I know he didn't have Odell last week, but he has no Odell. And he's Baker Mayfield of the Cleveland Browns.
I think Jay's team's just, they're bad. He's punted a little bit. You said it to me earlier. I didn't believe it. Now it's a freaking 100-yard punt.
Yeah.
That thing's rolling inside the 1-yard line. That thing's gone.
Jay is like Johnny Hecker.
Yeah. Yes.
He's MVP of special teams.
And Perna's team, I mean, his team's good. He's gone against teams that have put up 160 consistently on him, and I think his team's really good. I mean, Dalvin Cook's back, James Conner, Devontae Adams. I mean, the only plays that I really hate are CeeDee Lamb. I don't think he's got really any fantasy value right now with the Cowboys' offensive line. Zeke sucks. They're on Ben DiNucci in his first start ever. It's on Sunday Night Football. It's just maybe he'll have a good game with checking him off, but I just don't see CeeDee Lamb having any fantasy value really for the rest of the season.
I agree. I did just get 2 quick updates. I don't know if it's breaking news, but it's relevant. And that is both Giovanni Bernard and Aaron Jones, again, missed practice. And it's Thursday, so this is usually pretty telling of how the week will go. Yeah, what'd I say?
Gio.
Oh, Aaron. Yeah, my bad. So it's looking good for Jamal and Gio. Mixon and Aaron Jones missed practice again. So it's usually pretty indicative. A missed Thursday practice usually is a bad sign.
Yeah.
That's going to be big for a couple matchups. For both the Hoover and Rock matchup, that's big. And then for the Dylan Nick matchup, so a lot of playoff implications.
You'll definitely have a trade later with Nick.
We'll see.
Burkhardt's pretty bad.
He's been tough. He's been tough with trades. Frustrating, but yeah, it's probably good for you guys. You guys like that. But yeah, so I'm gonna do a quick prediction. I don't think it's close. Dalvin Cook is back. Devontae Adams, Rodgers is playing very well. I don't recommend starting the Steelers D against Baltimore, but other than that, I still think it's going to be a dominant win. I think Jay's over-under, it still sticks at the season over-under for him, which is 101.5. And I think he hits the under this week. So I'm going to go 150 I'll go 151.4 to be exact for Perna. And I'll say 87 for Jay. I do think Le'Veon Bell has 25 though.
Yeah, I think it's a redemption game for Le'Veon. I mean, I was just looking at Perna's team going down. I mean, James Conner does have a tough matchup. He's a good player, though. But, I mean, CD, Damian Harris, and Claypool, I mean, those are guys who are kind of boom or bust.
It's probably ass. Pretty ass, honestly.
Yeah, I'm going to say I think Jay's definitely under 100. I'm saying, maybe 95 is the top he scores this week. Yeah. And Perna might be around, I think he'd probably be around, 130, maybe 120. I mean,
yeah, you're probably. I kind of like your read. I didn't even see how bad his flexes are.
Damian Harris and Claypool, who knows? Claypool will have 4 touchdowns or a catch, So I think Perna's in the 120 to 130 range, and Jay's just loses by 30 to 40.
Yep. So we're gonna agree on the records here. We think Perna will advance to 3-5, and we think Jason Piacelli falls to 1-7.
Yep, that one win is against me, I must say.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I scored 90 points.
Yeah. It's also a bad look for the league that these guys were in the finals last year.
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah. Jay drafted horribly, though. Perna's just gotten screwed.
Jay actually drafted better than you would think, but he traded horribly.
He drafted a lot of guys who were good 3 years ago, though.
Yeah, well, he did do that, but he also drafted Kelsey. I think he drafted Thielen. I looked at his team. I've got the draft board over there. I guess I could pull it out. You want me to do that?
Sure. Why not?
I'll be quick. All right. This is the draft board. Basically, okay, so this is who he drafted. He got screwed with Odell. Doesn't really matter, but he drafted Thielen, who was a good draft pick. Cooks, who I think's good. Kyler Murray. Like Todd Gurley's been good.
What was that trade for Kyler?
It was with Dill. He murdered himself.
Oh man.
And he also had Kelsey. So his team was not bad. He also had Fuller.
Yeah. But his running backs, he had Gurley and Le'Veon, right?
Yeah, and David Johnson.
I mean, those guys are, they're good, but they haven't been good for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean Gurley has been good. He's I think he's RB8, but I agree. I don't like him. But yeah.
Brian Hill, baby.
Yeah, I love me some Brian Hill for sure. Wait, I will tell you just what that trade was for Kyler Murray, and then we'll move on.
Do we embarrass Jay like that?
Yeah, we might as well. It might not have been that bad actually.
Yeah, but getting rid of Kyler Murray for anyone's probably terrible.
Actually, it was a fair trade. It was Dill traded Josh Allen and AJ Brown for Kyler Murray, Will Fuller, TY, and Singletary. It was a fair trade.
Yeah, that's not that bad.
Yeah. All right. So we were wrong there, but there have been some bad trades. Everyone knows it. But let's move on to the most important matchup, at least for the two of us, and that is you and I. We're playing each other. We're both 4-3. I'm coming off of a lucky shitty win against a horribly low scoring Max, and you're coming off of a heartbreaking, very unlucky loss. As of now, the prediction is 152 to 143.8 for me. What do you think about our matchup, Ma?
I think I have a better chance than the points make it seem. I'm only nervous really about Amari, which I think he's going to be useless, but Godwin isn't playing. Sammy Watkins isn't playing. So I'm kind of screwed there. And he's probably still startable. Like he could pop off, but you have some tough matchups this week. Like in terms of guys, like Russ is playing the 8th ranked 49ers defense. Zeke's got the 7th ranked Philly defense, and Zeke you can't drop him, but he's useless.
What do you think he'll put up? What do you think Zeke will put up this week?
The Philly's going to stack the box so bad. Maybe 10 at the most.
God, I hope not. He sucks. It's so
Kamara's
frustrating.
playing the 9th ranked defense, the rush defense. Mike Thomas is playing the same defense as the 4th ranked defense. If he plays. David Montgomery's been bad against the 8th ranked rush defense. And I mean, I think the Chiefs defense puts up probably close to 15 around there, but you do have some tough matchups this week.
Yeah, I definitely do.
I think Russ will pop off just because their defense is bad and he'll have to play well, but
hope so.
You could have some big dud games this week. And I think Zeke's a for sure dud game, but
you hate the Cowboys now.
Yes. Still a diehard Cowboys fan though.
How about your
my matchups? I think Derrick Henry has a field day against the Bengals. And I'm starting Burrow this week over Tom. I think they crush the Giants, and I think it's a big Ronald Jones Fournette game.
Okay, that's fair.
DeAndre Swift, I have no idea. He's playing a good defense in Indy. I think Amari doesn't do well. Hopefully the Vikings are down by a zillion, which they probably will be, and Jefferson pops off. That's usually the big games. A lot of garbage time for him. Darren Waller's going to be probably pretty good against Cleveland. I think it's a high-scoring game. Robert Woods against Miami. I'm hoping that Tua plays well. So, I think it'll be a good game. The Dolphins aren't as bad. They're not bad at all. I think they'll have a good game again. Hopefully Robert Woods has been very up and down. But hopefully
that Woods and Cup back and forth that we have will be definitely interesting to watch.
Yeah. I think the Bucs defense will be great against the Giants offense. They have no run game. Their offensive line's atrocious. And I got a new kicker for the 7th time this year, Daniel Carlson, and hopefully he has a big game because kickers have been killing me.
Yeah. You definitely have significantly better matchups than me.
Yes.
I think my players are better. So for my sake, I hope the talent outweighs the opportunity or the the matchup.
Mm.
But I would say definitely worried. Derrick Henry scares me. Joe Burrow scares me. Honestly, but also Tom scares me. So I was worried about the quarterback situation no matter what. Swift has a tough matchup. That's like
He does.
that's good, but other than that, yeah, I'm worried, and I know hopefully Amari does nothing. So
I think he will. But I think for Swift, he's going to be catching a lot of passes, hopefully this week. And I mean, they give it to him a lot around the goal line, and their offense hasn't been terrible. Matt Stafford's looked good. Galladay's looked good. Hawkinson looks great. I think they play pretty well. I just think that with Matt Stafford, they'll be all right against the Colts defense.
yeah, it's going to be a close game.
It seemed like since the bye week, DeAndre Swift's kind of become the man. So
Yeah, in terms of fantasy, he definitely has. He's been balling for you. Yeah, our matchup will definitely be close. This is a very crucial game for the both of us because it's not a must win for either of us. I would say it's if you win, you're in, and if you're out, you're fighting. And neither of us want to be fighting. I'm gonna say, it's gonna be a close game. I'll let you do the your prediction first, and then I'll give you mine.
I think you and I both have a high scoring game or high scoring week. I would say I'm gonna say that I clip you 160 to 150. I think you're right around your projection. I think you have a couple of duds, but I think Tyreek will have a couple of bombs early in that game. I think a lot of your guys. I think you have a couple of duds in there, but I think my team is consistently plays well throughout the board. Probably besides Amari, to be honest with you, I've got really good matchups.
Yeah, you do. I'm definitely worried. I'd say for me, what it comes down to, I think, two things, and that's, first off, is Tyreek Hill going to have a big game? Because we know he obviously can against the Jets, but it's also the Jets. They suck. It's kind of my reason for not liking Kelsey. I'm hoping he gets like a long touchdown. So it depends on him. And I would say, like, if Michael Thomas, I need to know if Michael Thomas plays. I think if he plays, like, I got to start him, obviously. But if not, I have Deontay Johnson, who I love.
Yeah.
It's probably a safer play, if that makes sense. Like, I'll probably get like a higher floor.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I think your biggest concern, or your two biggest concerns, are David Montgomery and Zeke. I mean, Montgomery hasn't been great. If Michael Thomas doesn't play, whatever, you throw in Deontay Johnson. So what? You'll probably be fine. But if Zeke plays well and Swift is playing the best defense in the NFL, whatever you want to say about him, I think that could be a huge matchup for you. If Zeke plays well, I think it's really difficult for me to beat you.
Yeah, I really hope so. I think what's going to go for him, obviously I want to see him in the end zone, but I think it's the dump off passes that will actually help me. I think he has, definitely better than 10, unless, I hope he has better than 10. But it's going to be a close matchup for us. I do think it's going to be higher scoring than what even you said. I think we're going to have the highest scoring matchup. But it's time. It's time for my team to fucking pop off. I'm sick of them sucking. So I'm going to give myself 192.
Oh.
And I think you're going to put up like 175, which is still a great game. But, obviously I'm not going to pick you to beat me, but it's going to be a good high scoring game.
Yep. I think that would be a good game. I'm also, honestly, I'm looking at my team right now. If Tevin Coleman plays, I might have to start him.
That was so dick. I was so annoyed that you did that.
Yeah, because I don't know why you picked up Saquon, but
yeah,
if I'm doing more throughout, because I don't have anyone playing tonight, so I've got all matchups Sunday and Monday. So if I see that Tevin Coleman is playing, and I mean he's a risky play with apparently the 49ers don't like to play their best players, but at running back, so I could see myself dropping Amari and putting Higgins or Woods at that spot, and then putting Coleman at my second flex.
Yeah.
But that's really my only decision I have to make. I've got everything else set, but
it's going to be a good matchup.
Yeah.
Hopefully I kick your ass.
I hope you don't. After last week, I don't deserve that.
Dude, yeah, I do feel bad. Like it's unfortunate that I have to play you after what happened last week.
Yeah, because if I was 5-2 and I lost you, I'd be like, all right, whatever. Yeah. But now that it's either I'm 2 games above 500 or 500, it's a big week. I think we're both definitely still in playoff contention, but I still have to play Rock later again. And I lost him the first time. I'm gonna have to beat him again. So
yeah, that's where I am with Nolly and Rock. by loss to Nelly week 1.
Yeah, I don't get to play Jay again, which sucks.
Me too.
I've got to play 5 pretty good teams throughout the rest of the season. So
Yep.
I'm gonna need to win this one.
Yeah, I agree. But anything, any last words to say before we sign off?
Josh Allen isn't a good quarterback.
That's
the last thing that I'm saying.
That's just wrong. Incorrect. Like we're gonna battle about that, but I think Josh has a bounce back week. He's the GOAT, honestly. He's a fucking beast, and we're gonna dominate the Patriots. It is gonna be a sweet, sweet victory. We bounce back after a garbage game with no touchdowns against the Jets. But we'll see. But yeah, Malone, best of luck to you this week.
Best of luck to you as well.
Thank you. So thank you guys for listening to the Week 7 recap, Week 8 preview. This is the Mendon Alum Podcast. Peace out.